Hey, greetings, fellow slingers. It's your trusted handler, Brian, welcoming you once again to the digital rage room. Here we are behind the virtual eye of destiny. You know, I honestly thought that this would be the last episode of this season, but boy, was I shocked when we ended this episode and still had a little further to go. And thank goodness, because as I heard about last episode from Balint, that episode was epic as ever. He did have a concern regarding some unanswered questions and hopes we can answer them before we wrap up this AP. Well, let's hope we can answer a few of those questions as we bring this bitch over the finish line, right? Remember, if you like what you're listening to, please leave us that 5-star rating and review on whatever podcast app you listen to the show on. And yes, we're on all of them. Yeah, woohoo, woohoo. Don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Roll the Hard 20. Click that little subscription bell and make sure you enable notifications so that you never miss when we drop down another one of these episodes. You know what? That really does help out the show. So please do me a solid and do that for us because we would really appreciate it. Other than that, guys, I really don't have much else to say other than let's warm up our dice and top off our glass as Roll the Hard 20 podcast presents episode 15 of our Delta Green scenario, Convergence. Enjoy.
Like, because in 70s they had long ones
And coarse. They were coarse.
Yeah.
I propose a toast to Jimmy Buffett because it's 5 o'clock somewhere and we lost him on the 1st of September. And here's to Jimmy.
So by extension, does Jimmy have any bearing on what that guy said in the movie Predators then?
It's a good question. I've been often thinking about it being since it's 5 o'clock somewhere, but I don't think the two characters related.
Okay.
That's actually an Alan Jackson song. I think that he was also recorded with him.
So it was a trio of those type of innuendos. Okay, good.
Yeah,
we're good.
It was Alan Jackson song that Jimmy does the last verse because then Jackson says, call me a cab and get myself back at work by 2. But then I think, what would Jimmy Buffett do? And then Jimmy comes in.
He says it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah.
He is indeed having the cheeseburger in paradise now.
Good.
And on that cheery note.
So how's everybody doing? How have we been this past week?
It's been hot, real hot.
Yeah, you guys been in a hot
Super
land,
hot.
right?
Yeah.
This is the guy from California, Ryder, telling us it's hot.
Hot for
Now I
us.
feel like an old man. You don't know hot till you gone to the.
Yeah, but we didn't move to the service of the sun. I mean, Jesus Christ. It was Texas, Arizona, Florida. It's all around the sun belt,
It's all around the sun. All right, Dad. Anyways, so let's lead us in. All right, guys. Well, let's lead us in.
We got bodies to pile.
That's right. Greetings, fellow slingers. Welcome back to Roll the Hard 20 podcast. It is I, your trusted handler, Brian, with me, my hard slingers of yore.
Yeah.
Episode 15 of our Delta Green scenario, Convergence, possibly the last episode of this AP.
Ooh.
Yeah. But first, the shout-outs. Got to get the shout-outs. James Wachter stated that he started off with our kick-ass Delta Green shows, which he fully engorged himself in their humor and smart role-playing. Yeah, engorged. But now he's getting enjoyment out of our fantasy RPGs. He said finding our channel is like recovering buried chest full of Spanish doubloons. Yeah. This comment was actually made during our Dragon's Demand episode 2. The only thing I could say to that, James, is buckle in for the long haul with that AP because it gets long in the tooth. My personal recommendation is on our fantasy track record. Check out Riders on the Storm or Carrion Crown. Both of them are definitely my faves. Junior, which one did you like between those two? You played in them both. You played
Riders
them
of the
all.
Storms was a lot. Yeah, I played them all. The Riders of the Storm with Rafu was fun. I like that one.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching you really start cutting your teeth and just busting loose in that AP. So that was good. The next one goes out to Henry Anderson. He mentioned that it's that time of week again. Sheriff Oakley says, blah, 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 blah. Get the fuck out of here, please. Yep. Seeing as how we're now in episode 15, I can say that Oakley is no longer a problem. Right, Adesso?
Let me show you something, Sheriff.
And I put that on the back end of that one episode as our little behind the scenes. So I do want to thank all of our listeners. We enjoy making the show as much for ourselves as we do for all you guys out there. But remember, the best way to help the show is to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Roll the Heart 20 and leave us that 5-star rating. That 5-star rating and review on whatever podcast app you listen to the show on, because yes, it really, really does help. Now, getting into the play. It's nighttime. It's late. It's 11:30 late. There's no moon. And you guys are currently at the reservoir. You just witnessed a UFO come down out of the sky, go down into the reservoir itself, come back up, go straight up, and each you were able to see that just for a split second that the UFOs took on a southern heading before it blinked out and whisked away. Standing there in the dark around the edge of this body of water, this darkness feels oppressing. You actually can feel it hugging your skin. It's just that dark. And it just seems like this day itself knows no end. I need everyone to make a con check. Rice.
32 under 70.
Coldwell.
68 over 65.
Adesso.
91 over 55.
Each.
62 under 65. So technically, I made that roll best because I failed almost closest to failure.
Those of you that have failed, you start to feel a little stuffy, start feeling chills coming on, and you start feeling a fever about your skin. Those of you that passed, you feel your nose begin to stuff up a little bit.
I'm gonna look in the mirror, see if my skin is taking on a purplish complexion.
Did you pass? You passed.
Oh yeah, I passed,
Oh.
but that's what I'm saying. I'm getting the sniffles, but I want to see if anything's happening to my face because I feel this coming on. Ichi will look to the group. So how are you agents feeling?
Like I've been hit by a protoplasmic bowling ball in the ribs.
Aside from that, we know that happened, but I'm starting to feel something different, something that I didn't feel until having those lights pass over us.
Yeah, I didn't feel that great either. I'm not feeling well at all.
Feeling some cold chills. Who has the spray bottles by any chance? Each of
I
you
had
have
one.
one. Who has the other one?
I thought Rice had the other one.
Yeah, Rice had the other one.
I'll turn over to Agent Rice. Rice, spray the air with the spray bottle. Let's see if how intense this agent shows up in comparison to contamination in this area.
I'll pull that bottle out and just kind of spray around all of us in the air, around
Okay.
the agents.
The air has a purplish hue to it. You see that the skin that gets touched by this liquid spray turns purple. But you see that the two individuals that failed the roll, you see their eyes are actually purple at this time.
Great.
Get the quilts.
Hey, Coldwell, Adesso, you guys aren't looking so good. Your eyes are... Ichi, you're looking okay, but
Mm.
that doesn't look so good. These guys are look like they're getting more infected than you and I.
Yeah, just because I look marvelous doesn't mean I am marvelous.
Just because I rock doesn't mean I'm made of stone.
Yeah, I
Jesus.
think hanging up near this reservoir and being in this town is definitely starting to take its toll on us. We need to follow what those lights are. That's the last kind of lead that I have. Otherwise, the motel from hell has been burned, and I don't think we have any more leads. Maybe we hop in the car, move south, and see what else is in that guy's computer. Otherwise, I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss.
Yeah, I think we didn't fully vet what was on Scott Adams' computer with all the mayhem at the hotel. What do you guys
I had
think?
my guy on it.
Are you guys thinking, we head south towards the lights at this point?
I mean, that's the
where
only
else can we
direction
go?
we have. I had another question with the with the spray. This is just a thought out of game. Does the more concentrated areas or saturated exposed areas, are they a darker purple? Like, does it grow more intense, the color, as the stronger the closer to the source you are?
Yeah, well, I would say that the more concentrated that the source is, not the closer to it you are. It's either contaminated or it's not. But if it's just being slightly introduced into an organism, the purplish hue would be lighter. But as it starts to replicate and become more of an issue in that host body,
Replicate.
it would get darker and darker and darker to the point where you'd look like what was her name?
Dinosaur.
Veruca from Willy Wonka.
Violet.
Violet. Of course it was Violet. That was Veruca. Wasn't it Veruca?
I thought it was. Yeah.
Oh,
Now,
maybe.
Veruca Salt's a singer.
All I
I'm
remember
just
is
joking.
Violet. You're turning violet. Violet?
Is that what it was? I thought
Yeah,
it was
I think
Veruca.
he's right. Violet, you're turning violet. Yeah, that makes sense.
Of
Yeah,
course it
because
does.
my thought of it was maybe if we could spray this, we could kind of follow its trail and see exactly where it's passed by. And maybe like the closer or the more we're on trail, it
Of
it glows.
of the UFO? Is that what you're saying?
Mhm, yeah.
My thing about that is you'd run out of spray long before you made the determination
got
where it
to
was
it.
going. Yeah, because it went straight up like maybe 500-600 feet and then just started going to the south and blinked off. You would have to pepper the entire countryside with a squirt bottle, hoping that whatever dripped off this UFO when it came out of the reservoir continued to drip all the way. But then again, if you remember from previously, all the water seemed to be contaminated.
Yeah, my blade
Yeah.
was.
I mean,
Yeah, we got everything
even though the
coming out of the
reservoir is
sink was purple.
contaminated,
Yeah.
it's pretty much affected the entire town of Groversville.
Okay.
Am I what we're doing?
Well, gents, what do we want to do?
I say we head south, find out more information on the laptop, and make our last bit of surveillance here. It went south. Maybe there's something that will lead us. Otherwise, we're not able to go interview doctors anymore. We've had the run-in with the sheriff. Deso took care of that. But I'm pretty sure people are going to be wondering what happened to the sheriff after he probably on his little BJ and the Bear CB said, I'm going to go talk to those FBI scoundrels at the shit motel or that Sleepy Eye or Shut Eye.
Shut eye.
So I don't think we should be anywhere near the town right now.
Who's driving? Who's doing what?
I'm passenger. I need to get Rice needs to look at this laptop for more details.
Okay.
And Deso's driving, right?
No, he's in no shape to drive. Failed the constitution check, not feeling so well.
All right, Coldwood, do you want to drive or do you want to make out with a Deso in the back seat?
We might have to huddle on the same blanket.
There we go.
Oh, did you both fail?
Yeah, I failed as well.
Yeah, we're going to put them in the back seat of the damn old Betsy and roll up that window.
We're not taking old Betsy with
No,
us.
I'm
Hell
just-
no. That sticks
I'm
out
just
like a
joking.
sore thumb.
No, I was making the joke, and Betsy
Oh,
was
sorry.
part of the bit. So no, we were of course going to take the Challenger Charger Camaro.
I rock.
All three.
The IROC seat, yeah.
Jeez.
Just so you know that the failing of the con save, that's just flavor, so you realize what's going on with your bodies. Like, you're not taking any hit points, you're not debilitated in any way yet.
Oh, okay.
Just so you get an idea where it's heading at this point.
Yet,
Meaning
like you
that
said.
everybody's affected by this shit.
Yeah, I'll drive, but I'm not the best driver around. And don't make any jokes on that. I'm just saying I never got my license.
He's not a good driver, but you should see him putt.
There we go.
So following the lights, you guys make your way back around the reservoir, and you have to get back out onto I-135. And it actually leads you either northwest or southeast back towards Groversville. There are no side streets along this interstate. So Agent Each, as you start making your way southeast along this road, Agent Rice, tell me what you're doing while he's driving.
So I flip open Scott Adams' laptop and just kind of start perusing files on the desktop.
One of the ones that pops up, it looks like it's been accessed several times. It's a file that's labeled Groversville Notebook. And on it talks about cataloging of livestock mutilations, livestock alterations, people that have had missing time, chopper sightings, strange lights, crop circles. And it talks about different farms that Scott Adams had visited and spoke to several other residents. But there's one entry at the very bottom that really catches your eye. In fact, he highlighted it. It says Winslow Farm. The farm had been reported as vacant. The Winslows abandoned it last year. The property was kicked back to the county. I will go out tomorrow and investigate it.
As I'm reading this and seeing all the other sections seem to have like a conclusion to each of the sections, you know, like there hasn't been anything like conclusive except for this one. Like it's kind of open, right?
That's correct. All the other farms that he had visited, Beau Laramie, his farm, he concluded that of the strange crop circles that he had not had any missing time. He met with Robert Gum. He met with Manny Kincaid, Lewis Atkins. He met with a bunch of different people that all had surrounding farms in this area. The only individuals he was unable to speak with were the Winslows, who owned the Winslow farm, because they were no longer there. What he was trying to do was basically cover his bases and speak to everybody that he could until he could go to this particular farm. And as you know, by his demise and the empty register of this PDF, that he never finished his investigation there.
All right. Do we have any data that tells us where the Winslow farm is?
And type it into a GPS. Wouldn't we just be able to type in Winslow Farms and the names of the people, and it'd probably come up with some sort of address?
No, Ichi, I think probably the better way here is the county's probably got a property assessor's site.
That may work.
You can find a lot of information about who owns a property in the county. So, Handler, I'm going to type into Google and just type in like Groversville property assessor into the search.
Okay.
And I'm assuming there should be something that allows me to search, you know, local records in this county.
And there is. Did you want to go by, obviously you're going to go by the last name Winslow, correct?
I am. I'm going to type in Winslow into the property assessor site and see what kind of hits I get.
Okay. You see it populate Bert and Ernie Winslow. They own a farm that's just outside of Groversville, and it gives you GPS coordinates that is southeast of the town proper.
Look at that.
And I'm pinging that right now on Roll20 for you. Each, as you're driving your Charger heading south, You start to see something up ahead in the dark, and it looks like a fire. But as you get closer, you see that it's actually several small fires, and they appear to be coming from two vehicles, black minivans that are both in a ditch along the side of the road.
Okay. Agents, seems like we have something that we may or may not need to take care of. Look up ahead.
Brilliant. Can we tell that they look... what kind of perception check, or would it be a perception check to determine whether or not these look to be the same type of featureless FBI vans that we would be expecting?
What are the odds that two vans randomly are on fire, and just so happens two vans came into town?
You don't even have to make that check. You can tell that one of these vans is identical to the van that was in front of the shut-eye that carried the cleanup crew for you. And the other van is probably the one that was passing you by.
Ichi will look to the agents. It looks like the vans from the cleanup crew. We should stop. Maybe check out, just in case. They could have left the anomalies at the hotel, but in case they were with them, maybe they're here, so just be on point.
Right.
And I say we check quick, and if there's nothing of import, we get headed back to Winslow Farm. We can always call it into Derringer as well if we need to. Let him know that his teams are compromised.
Sounds good. Sounds real good. Do we have anything heavier than our pistols in the Charger? I can't remember. I do remember that there was a shotgun we took out of one of the police vehicles. Did we keep that?
Yeah, Rice has it.
That's
okay.
correct.
Now we should probably approach with that kind of. We should approach with that first, or anything else, because anything coming out, we want to make sure that we give it a nice warm greeting.
Yeah, hopefully, fire put to rest whatever was in there, if they were stupid enough to take anything with them.
Right.
So you get out and you approach the first black minivan. You could see that the windshield is busted. You see that there's blood along the side of the driver's window. Peering in, you see two individuals slumped over in the passenger and in the driver's seat. You can kind of see something in the back. Looks like two more individuals.
Do they all appear burned?
They appear dead.
Well, you
from
had
the
said
outside.
that
I mean,
vans were on fire.
Bits and pieces of it were on fire.
Okay.
Their bodies themselves are not on fire.
Okay.
Can we determine cause of death by looking at them?
Not with the doors closed.
Also, I believe one of us should maybe keep an eye towards the roads going north and going south, so any incoming and outgoing traffic we'll see, and we can determine whether or not to keep moving or hide or what.
Any bullet holes in the outside?
Give me an alertness check on that, Adesso.
Oh, got it. No, 41 under 25. I don't notice anything.
Yeah, it looks like the way that the glass has been shattered, you couldn't really tell if it's a result of a bullet hole or not. It's spidered. All the glass, the windshield, the two side windows, and of course the backs are solid paneling.
Is there any glass on the ground like something had come out of the van?
Yes.
Or any indication? Oh, there is. Okay.
Well, it's minor flecks of glass, but it looks like it's more from impact from within.
Got it. Is there any, so impact from within could have been a body hitting the glass. It doesn't look to our trained eyes that anything burst out or made an escape.
Well, remember, Jane Allen was in there with them technically, so maybe she gave birth to a bouncing baby purple grapefruit beast. So
that very well may be.
Keep alert.
Do we hear anything?
No, just a crackling of fire as it slowly starts to die down, by the way.
Okay, but the van itself is not on fire, but pieces that fell off from the van are. Is that
like
correct?
the rubbers on the wheels are starting to die down. You can see that there's minor smoke coming out from under the hood. Pieces that have busted off the van look like they were once on fire and now are dying down, like the plastic trim pieces of the wheel flares and whatnot.
Are both vans near each other?
They are. They're probably about 20 feet apart.
Okay, remember, Susan was in there too, wrapped up in that burrito quilt, but she had something in her as well.
Yeah. All right, let's take the van we're closest to and clear it. And don't want to grab the handles or anything. Could be hot.
We may want to just torch these things.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to risk any of our agents if they're still alive.
I don't think they look like they're alive.
Agent Alpha, Agent Beta, are you alive? Jane Allen, are you alive?
The two agents that were still alive were Alpha and Charlie.
Oh. Well, no wonder Beta didn't answer. Agent Alpha, Agent Charlie.
So that would only be one driver per van. Because remember, as we were leaving, we heard several gunshots for the two down guys.
There was a second cleanup crew coming.
Yeah. Okay.
So they might have had their van of 4. If this is the van of 4, then maybe the other van has the 2.
Yeah, good point.
We should check the other van out too.
Describe for me how you approach the second van.
Adesso, how do you approach the van? I'm just
We're going
kidding.
to approach it tactically. We're going to put Rice on the front portion of it so that he's covering the driver's side door with his shotgun. Odessa will back him up, but not so much that he's overlapping, or so that Odessa's pistol does not sweep over and cover Rice. Only the same arc of fire, so that they're parallel with just Rice being in front. So Rice is in front, Odessa's behind, but their gunfire is pointed in one direction towards the door of the van. I would ask Coldwell to go around the right side and just cover the passenger side. Don't get too close in case we have to open up, but just see if anything comes out that side and be ready to hit it.
You cover that and the back.
Yeah, and then when we get close, I'll have Rice pull back. Odessa will open the door and then get out of the way. So he'll go to the front of the door, open it outwards, and then Rice will have a clear shot with the shotgun inside the passenger compartment, or the driver compartment too.
Okay.
Crack the door and I'll throw the flashbang.
Who's cracking the door?
Odessa will crack the door.
Okay, you crack the door, and you see that the driver of the van is not there. You see that the passenger, however, is crumpled against the dash. And something else catches your eye as well. Something behind the driver's seat.
All right, what is it?
It's very dark back there.
Gotcha. Okay, so what'll happen is I'll relay this information to Rice. Rice, there's something behind the driver's seat. I can't see what it is. Passenger's crumpled up against the dash. He's not moving. And then I'll step back so that Rice can do a sweep of the interior. Perchance, does the shotgun have a flashlight on it, mounted to it by chance? Is that going to be a luck roll?
That's going to be a luck roll.
That's going to be a luck roll.
Who's got the shotgun, though?
Rice got the shotgun.
He needs to make that luck roll.
Rice roll.
Stand by. It's an 11.
11. It does have a flashlight on the tip of it.
There we go.
How many lumens?
400.
There we go.
So it's like a lightsaber.
So you click on this light, and you start panning across the back of the van, and you see that what Odessa saw appears to be a black metal box that's bolted to the floor right behind the driver's seat.
Can I see any obvious locks or anything on it?
No.
Okay, so I'm sweeping the rest of the van. Do I see anything else? Proto matter, bodies, anything like that?
Nope. In fact, the rest of the van is completely empty except for the one agent crumpled against the dash.
Okay. Hey, Odessa, there's a black metal box behind the seat here. We should look for crowbar or something that we can kind of try to pry this thing open.
Ichi has lock picking.
Is it open or is it closed?
The lid on it is closed.
Is it have any holes in it?
It doesn't look like it has any holes on it at all.
Okay. Is
not
there
a
any
glory
residue
box,
around
dude.
the outside that we can tell?
What kind of residue are you inferring?
Oh, let's grab that spray bottle and hit it. Well, not hit it, but spray box with the spray bottle.
Okay.
That's what I meant to
say. It does not
say.
illuminate.
Okay, that's a positive sign. All right.
Now you're going to touch it and I'll get it all infected.
Now it's
Let's check the
purple.
passenger first. Let's make sure that he's not dead, or
Maybe it was
if he
the
is
driver.
Dead, well, yeah, there's no
Flew
driver.
over. Well, maybe he
Driver's
was
gone.
the driver that flew over when it crashed or something.
Well, good point. Let's check that out.
You pull the body
We
away.
would like to
from
reverse the
dash.
order. We'll check the passenger before we spray the box.
Yeah.
Okay. Tony, you don't have to get so close to your mic anymore.
Got it.
So you pull the body away from the dash, and you could see right away that this individual is dead. His eyes are bugged out. Looks like he took a shot to the larynx when he probably crashed into the dash. And judging from his features, and you may have only seen him briefly, it looks like it's Agent Charlie.
Does it look like he died from suffocation? Inability to breathe through that crushed larynx?
You would have to make a medical check on that.
Yeah, you said bugged eyes, so I'd assume.
Yeah, I have no medical check to make. I can't tell. Does he have any other wounds on him? Obvious ones, punctures, bleed outs, shot, anything?
That would require a medical check as well. Unless you actually started stripping him down and visually looking at him.
Gotcha. Could I tell that he was, from his position in the passenger seat, is it likely that he may have been driving and got thrown to the passenger seat?
Can you do a forensics check?
As a matter of fact, I can do a forensics.
Is he wearing a seatbelt? That'll say if he's in the passenger seat or not.
He's not.
Ah, okay then.
I'm sorry, I can't do a forensics. I have a 0. Never mind.
I could do it.
Do it, Coldwell.
Yeah.
Do it, baby. All right. That is a 3 under 30.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh,
It looks
barely
like the-
made it.
It looks like the direction that he crashed into this dash was a straightforward shot that he was sitting in the passenger seat.
Where's our
What made him
driver
stop,
then?
though?
So Ichi has been watching the roads. Am I hearing or seeing any of the things that Adesso is doing? Or
I would envision that you're probably right kind of next to the van, looking up and down the road, and occasionally looking over your shoulder to see what's going on. Like, hey, what's going on in there?
that? Yeah,
Kind of
that's-
thing.
I'd like to inquire. What's the word, Adesso?
Passenger's dead, but we're missing a driver. We should check the other van.
Have you checked the back of the van yet?
Yeah, it was completely clean except for a lockbox. That can wait. Let's see what the other van's doing.
Okay. Walk me through your investigation of the other van.
All right, we'll approach the same way. Rice with the shotgun in front, with the flashlight on it. He approaches the driver's side first, and then I will go around and do the same thing. Open the door with the left hand, keeping the pistol up front so I could get in, and then open it up and step back so he's got a clear view of the passenger compartment with the shotgun.
Yeah, Coldwell covering the back of the van on the passenger side.
Exactly.
This van would look like how it would look if it had a full complement of team members.
Mm-hmm.
Got the driver, passenger, both up front, both dead. And in the back, the 2 rear passenger seats, you can see that there are 2 dead individuals back there as well.
Can we tell what caused the death? Does it look like blunt force trauma, like they were knocked around the inside of the van, or is it a little more subtle, like, oh, look, their throats are cut, that kind of thing?
They look as though they've been pounded inside the van.
No Jane Allen in there, Adesso?
I don't see anybody but the dead.
No dead body of Jane Allen?
That is correct.
So we're missing an
There's nothing
agent.
else here. There's no Susan body either. There's just the 4 agents' bodies.
We should check the box then.
Hold on. Rice wants to look at what's the terrain around the van? Is it like dirt? Is it mud? Is it soft ground?
It's like soft grass, like weeds and dirt, gravel, before it goes into the foresty portions off the sides of the road.
Can I make a search just to see if I can see that the grass or the dirt has been disturbed, like somebody running off?
Yeah,
Or
give
any
me a search.
blood trails too, you know?
Yeah. So I'm going to do a search.
And the other question I would have is there any, if there was something in it that made its way out, are any doors or windows broken out or doors open that would give us an idea which way something may have exited?
Doesn't look like anything exited its way out of this van, although the windows do appear to have been impacted from the inside out.
Okay. I'll note that and tell everybody. It doesn't look like something exited the van. Just to keep everybody on their toes. There may still be something inside it. Any of the agents look like they're swollen, like something had climbed inside through their throat or eyes or nose.
No, I mean, you could see blood coming out of their eyes and out of their nose and their ears, and you see that passenger and the driver, their heads are against the glass in the door, and the glass itself is kind of shattered outwards. The guys in the back, they're more slumped kind of against the paneling of the van itself. It looks as though they sustained some kind of a proximity concussion.
Proximity concussion. Is there any dents on the outside of the van?
No dents on the outside, but the paneling looks as though it's bowed outwards.
Like a popcorn
Like from the
kernel.
inside. Okay. All right. I'll relay my observations to the others and saying this is quite the puzzle, because either something's still in there or
Didn't
I have
you look
no
in
other
there?
explanation. Well, we've been kind of scoping it out, but we haven't actually gone inside the van. Let's try opening the passenger side too.
I
see if
believe
he knows.
Weaver had a role
Yeah.
in doing this. No, I'm just kidding. Weaver, didn't you have a perception role?
I did, just around the van to see if anything by chance had left the scene. And I rolled a 12 under 50 on a search check.
It doesn't look like anything has left the van at all. There's nothing that indicates that the foliage along the side of the road has been beat down by boots or something and ran off into the forest. It doesn't give that any of that indication at all. However, you will notice that next to these vans are a lot of footprints around them, but that could be attributed to you guys, possibly. It's hard to say.
No, this is... Maybe we're not dealing with the supernatural here. This might be one of the rival agencies taking out the vans, or the local sheriffs or something. Something inside the one van, but we also have the box here, this other van that needs to be checked out.
Any other tire marks around the van? And also, is there any indication that the bumpers have been impacted?
No indication that the bumpers have been impacted at all. If you want to check for tire impressions, go ahead and make a search check as well.
Got it.
How far from the ranch are we? Just curious.
From the Winslow Ranch?
Yes.
89 under 55. Nadesu is clueless. Tire?
You
What's
can't get that right, can you?
No, apparently not. Well, I'm going to mark it on my sheet, though. I'm going to eventually get a search check correct. That's
It's difficult to get 89 under 55, brother.
Apparently
Over.
so.
Okay, hold on a second, Junior.
I don't need exact.
You're probably about 3.5 miles from the farm.
Yeah, that's close, and country miles.
And that's as the crow flies.
Oh, you beat me to it.
The box, the van, what to do?
Tick, tick, what are we doing?
The box. Let's
Let's check the box and see what's going on.
what's in the
there.
box?
What's in the box?
So you creep into the back of the van. See that there's this black box. Who's opening the box?
Is it locked?
Who's going to try to open the box?
Here's a better question. Is there an obvious lock on the outside, like a padlock or a sliding lock or a built-in lock?
No.
Or a 3-lock box.
There you go.
Ding, 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 ding.
Hey, so
you're
you're still not looking so hot. You should probably kind of step out of the van here, go get a little rest. Let me take care of this box.
all right.
And you can
just,
open the van.
So Rice,
Rice
You
is going to move in.
you move inside the van.
Yep.
And you see that there's just a 2-inch lid on this that basically goes over the rest of the box, covers the top of it. The box itself is probably about 20 inches by 18 inches by 18 inches deep.
Okay. I'm going to use my I'm going to hand my shotgun to Adesso and then pull my pistol. And then move towards the box with my left hand. I'm going to try to open that lid.
Okay. And it opens very easily.
Okay.
And I'd like for you to roll a D4 for me, please. And a D6.
Oh, shit.
Who?
I would like to refuse that
Rice.
roll.
Well, technically, Weaver, you gave him the shotgun, so you can't see anything.
No. You said a D4 and a D6?
Yes.
Okay, which one do you want first?
The D4, please.
A 2.
2. You see 2 MP5s with 2 30-round mags in the box.
2 MP5s. Okay.
Are those machine guns?
They are.
Yes.
Hey,
They're
look at
Heckler and Koch.
Now we're talking.
What's your D6?
4.
And you see 4 grenades in there.
Yes.
Well, all right. That was quite
Well,
the
Now we know what
Dibs on a
boat out
Yeah.
boat out the other van. Whoops.
They're fucking driving down the road. Catch,
Yeah.
fucker! Like,
With
woohoo!
this ring, I thee dead.
Okay, so I take the weapons and the grenades and I step out and say, gentlemen, jackpot, who wants an MP5?
Oh, Des will take one.
Okay, can I have my shotgun back, please?
Oh, of course. Of
Then
course.
I'll take the other MP5.
Okay, so Coldwell, Adesso, give them the MP5s, and then, hey, gents, I've also got a couple grenades. Anybody interested in those?
Oh, I'd be wonderfully interested in one.
Tell you what, there's 4 of us. Each of us gets a grenade, so I pass them out to each of us.
All right.
Each of us? All right.
Yeah,
Real
each-
quick,
each of
handler,
us.
what is the damage on an MP5?
It's
I'll
9
tell you
mil.
right now.
Yeah.
I'll tell
It's,
you right now.
Isn't it a D8?
Skill.
With the-
I have a 1D12.
The 1D10
No, 1D10.
submachine guns are 1D10.
A 1d10.
So-
Grenades have a 10-meter kill radius with a lethality of 15%. And when the time comes for you to use a grenade, we'll explain how that works.
Yeah,
If you get the
skill-
opportunity.
Dude, I'm
Real
skilled
quick
in
then.
fucking hand grenades.
Tony, your current weapon?
A
Does
Delta
1D12?
Elite, it's a D12. The advantage of the SMG is, well, I'm not sure. I would have thought it would have been like or handling, the ability to acquire a second follow-up shot, or I don't know.
Yeah, as a player,
Range
not
section.
not
I have,
familiar. Why would you have an MP5 versus the other one? If it's like, do you hit more, or is it a better chance to hit because it's a machine gun?
Good point. Don't know.
The one thing that it says that it would have,
Ooh, yes, perfect.
It says it does have a lethality issue to it.
yes, a 10% lethality.
Yeah, that's the difference because I don't think the Delta Elite does.
It does
10%
not.
for less damage.
If
Yeah.
fire burst.
So what would happen, I'm going to leave this in too, is if you hit with the MP5,
Mm-hmm.
then what you do is you would roll your percentage dice again. And if it is under 10%, the target is immediately dead.
Okay.
If it fails that, then it's just 1d10.
Right.
Oh, that's pretty
Gotcha.
good.
So you get a lethality chance, which is the difference. That sounds good. I like that. I'll trade that. Well, obviously I'll keep my pistol, but I will keep that MP5 so I can get the lethality advantage if the situation presents itself.
Yeah, you can use your pray and spray gun now.
Yeah, there you go. Because, the standard capacity on an HK is a 30-round mag. We can't tell if they were forced over the side of the road. Outside of game, I would ask somebody else to make a check for any other tire marks because I failed it miserably. It doesn't say somebody else would.
Somebody else can make the check, make the search if they want.
Wouldn't I have picked this up on my search, the initial search of tire tracks and
I thought you were looking just for boots, for
fair enough.
somebody leaving.
Okay.
That's what I was envisioning, is that you were looking at the grass and the side of the road to see if anybody had gone into the woods.
Okay, fair enough. I'm not sure what others have for search, but overhearing Agent Adesso kind of, talking to himself about, looking for tire tracks and such. I'd like to attempt a search check.
What do you got?
71 over 51.
Yeah, you're not seeing any unusual tire tracks other than the van's treads themselves. I mean, it's hard to say. A lot of the debris that is on the road usually gets blown off in passing cars. It's not a dirt road. It's an actual interstate. You're not going to make that correlation on the asphalt itself.
I'm just wondering why it blew out like that. Guess the only thing now to do is call up Derringer and have him send a cleanup crew.
Yeah, cleanup crew for the cleanup. Send more men.
Who's going to make that call? Is that Caldwell, or who's got the... I don't remember who had the phone.
I was joking. Like, do we really want to call him for the third time or whatever it is?
We're going to have to. Someone's got to clean this up. We can't have the locals do it.
It just looks like a bunch of dead people.
Yeah, but dead federal agents. That leads to a whole bunch of questions we don't want to answer.
2 unmarked vehicles.
Yeah, 2 unmarked vehicles, 5 dead people, no cause of death that we can easily discern.
And it seems like
let's
someone
just say
stole
there is
something from the lockbox.
Can't we just blame the cartel or something?
Yeah, there we go. The drug cartel that didn't exist with the drugs. But yeah, we definitely got to call Derringer and tell him.
Maybe we give him a call on the way to our destination.
That would probably be
agreed.
best.
But we should make the call.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me what we're doing.
Heading
All
back
right.
to Winslow.
Okay.
Yeah, we're taking our newfound armaments, and then we're going to make a phone call as we drive away.
Okay. With the GPS up and running via Rice, he's given directions to each who's driving, leading you towards the Winslow farm, who's making the call to Derringer.
Coldwell will.
Okay. Rings once, and the phone's picked up. As they see Derringer.
Derringer, Coldwell.
Agent.
We seem to find an unusual sight on the side of the highway. It appears that the cleanup crew that you sent are no longer. Their vehicle and their bodies is still in the vehicles that they got sent out with.
All 8 agents?
It appears that all the agents and any witnesses were found in the vehicle, except Agent Alpha.
Is he okay?
We don't know where his whereabouts are. He appears to be the only one that was not on scene.
Okay, hold on just a second. And you hear a keyboard clicking in the background. I show a GPS location for him. But he isn't with Agent Charlie. That's really weird. It says he's south of Groversville. He's about 3 miles away. That's odd.
And that's exactly where we're going right now. And that was before you told us this information.
Okay. Keep me posted. So do I need to send another team out there to clean this up too?
I think it would be wise. It would start
right.
raising questions.
I've got plenty of questions, Agent. Okay.
As do we.
Keep me in the loop. I'll send
Will do.
send more people out.
We'll put you
Will
on
do,
speakerphone.
He hangs up, and you can only assume that he's putting in a request for another team.
So they have either Alpha, whoever knocked these guys off the road, they grabbed Alpha and brought them down to Winslow Farm, which is where we're going, it seems. Or Alpha was a covert agent and wrecked the thing and then made his way to Winslow Farm.
So within about 12 minutes or so, you actually find yourselves on a dirt road. You start leaving the lights of Groversville behind you, and you're really only relying on your GPS and the headlights of your Charger at this time. Off in the distance, you can see sporadic structures. No doubt they're farms that are placed apart from each other. And as you start getting nearer and nearer your destination, it starts counting down 500 meters, 100 meters, and then it starts saying, your destination is in front of you. And you see a large house. All the windows are busted out. And off to the side, you see a large barn.
This is where they're peddling the drugs.
So I'll turn off the lights of the car just so we're not, hopefully not sitting ducks. Does there appear to be lights on in the barn?
No, in fact, it appears to be very dark, but there are no windows. Make a search check for me.
Okay. That is 16 under 20. I can't believe I made that.
Okay, you don't see any windows around the structure of this barn, but you do notice that there is an open loft doorway that's about 18 feet off the ground.
It's up above the front doors.
Yes.
Okay. I turn to the agents. Well, this is where Derringer said Agent Alpha's GPS coordinates are. It's also the coordinates of the Winslow farm. Appears that no one's here, but we definitely know that that's not the case. How do we proceed?
Is there only one giant barn door entrance? Is that the only way in? Because there's no windows, no other doors, right? I would assume.
There's a giant loft up above the door. Maybe you can't see it from the back seat, but yes, there's a way in. I don't know how we would get up there, but if the barn door is just a barn door and it's locked, I can figure out how to open it, hopefully. If not, we'll find access inside the barn somehow. Ichi will get out of the car and try to be as quiet as possible. I'm sure that if anyone's there, they already know we pulled up because we had headlights blazing and everything like that. But still, maybe they didn't see us, and I want to make sure that they don't hear us now.
Okay.
Do these MP5s have suppressors on them?
No.
Okay.
As you draw closer to the barn itself, you see that there's an old tractor off to the side. And you also see a ladder laying on its side in the weeds.
Oh, that'll help. I'll grab the ladder as the other agents are getting out of the car. Or
Does it look like it was thrown there recently? Like it's an impression where the weeds have grown around it? Or is this a recent addition to the...
No, it looks like the weeds are growing around it. Like you could see it jutting up because it's kind of leaning against the side of the tractor. But the weeds are around it. It's not like somebody strategically put it there for a reason.
Got it.
Could always throw grenades through the little loft.
yeah, or I could just fire up the tractor and we can drive it up to the loft area. Okay, yeah, I'll grab that. If you want to stay here and cover me, I can go out there and hopefully we're not a sitting duck with a bunch of people targeting a group.
Yeah.
Maybe we
It's
split up.
It's a long ladder. I'll give Ichi a hand.
Okay.
So Rice is covering Ichi and Caldwell with the shotgun as they approach that loft area. Just kind of training, on the loft and the door, almost like a skeet shooting type of tracking.
Okay, so I'm envisioning Each and Coldwell bringing this ladder over, leaning it against the side of the barn, right? And then
Yeah,
Yes.
who's ascending the ladder?
I'll make my way up.
Okay.
I
By
didn't really
We'll
yourself?
do
cover
much
him
at-
as best we can.
Okay.
I didn't do much at the roadside, so it's my turn to earn my pennies.
Coldwell, are you staying down below too?
I'll stay down to stabilize the ladder until he makes it up.
Okay. As you're climbing this ladder, Each, I need for you to make a stealth check.
Okay. Stealth is 52. Not too bad. Let's see. That's a 46 under 52.
All right. You climb the ladder and you get into this loft area. And as you get around this old bale of hay, you could actually look down on this barn because it's extremely illuminated within. The hay itself blocking the illumination from leaving the barn. You see a large open area, 60 feet by 30 feet. And looking down, you see inside the barn that the walls seem to be covered in a fungal material that stretches from the floor all the way up to the rafters. And on the floor rests several strange instruments, just too alien to really understand. You just see glowing lights and pulsing bellows, all sorts of bizarre apparati. Everything seems to have a weird fungal biological look to it. You see against the far wall that there are these 5 large tubes filled with some kind of transparent purplish fluid, one of which holds a body in it that appears to be badly damaged. You also see 3 flat surfaces in the middle of this room. They look like operating tables of some kind. On one of the tables, you see Jane Allen laying there, being held down by these straps. On another table, you see Frank Carancola. He looks around with a fevered look in his eye, scared out of his mind. And standing over them, you see these 4 gray entities poking and prodding. And I need you to make a sanity check as you see this.
Okay. That's a 99.
Ooh. A 99?
Yeah, critical fail.
Well, you'll take the full amount of sanity, which is 4 points.
I can take it.
And as you take this full sanity damage, something appears in the far corner of the room that you hadn't noticed right away. For some reason, it blinded itself to you, but you see a large square vat that has this large quantity of raw purple goop in it that pulses as though it has a life of its own, as though it's alive. Occasionally, you see one of the 4 gray individuals go over, put his head against it, and then nod and walk back over to one of the operating tables. You see 2 of the small gray entities walk over to the one vat that has this body in it, pull it out of this purplish fluid, and you could see right away it's Agent Alpha. One of his arms is mangled off, one of his legs is missing, half of his face is crushed, and they lay him on the table. They take a handful of this purple goop and smear it all over and down his throat, and his eye begins twitching and looking around, and it looks up at the loft and stops looking at you each. And I'll see you next session.
Well, I want to say, GM, that it'll be all okay, because those 4 points, that just took me down to 40. So my sanity is now broken.
And you will immediately get a disorder, and we'll discuss that next session.
I'd like to order 5 of the thick and juicies, please.
By the way, can Derringer send us GPS coordinates?
GPS
I thought he did give the GPS, didn't he?
He told us that it was 3 miles southeast of where we're going, and that's where I said, and that's exactly where we're going right now.
Oh, okay.
You could just make the assumption that that's where
1 and 2, put them together.
Yeah, because I don't know the actual GPS of this pseudo fake town.
It's 5.
5 blue.
5 is 5.
Thank you for joining us once again on Roll the Hard 20 podcast. Remember, you can find us and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora Radio, iHeart Radio, Amazon Podcasts, and Audible. And if you like what you're listening to, be sure to leave us that 5-star rating and review. Don't forget about our YouTube channel at Roll the Hard 20. So if you're into watching and you want to help support the show, then head on over and hit that subscribe button. It really does help the show out. We can also be found in the wild on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so don't forget to look for us there and check us out. You can also contact the show directly at rollthehard20podcast@gmail.com or head on over to the website at rollthehard20podcast.com, where you can download the current show directly, pick and choose past shows from our archives, or view our galleries. We've got a lot of stuff posted over there, so check us out. And finally, Join us on our Patreon at patreon.com/rollthehard20podcast, where you can become a hard slinger and pick up swag. So until next time, keep your dice warm and your glass topped off as you roll those hard 20s.